If you're leading worship in a small group or a growing church, I want to show you how to use drone pads simply and for free. Here we go. Hey friends, so you might be in this scenario. You might be part of a small group or a small growing church and leading worship, but you recognize that you don't have lots of musicians. Maybe you're the only musician in your group, and maybe you don't have an infinite budget to buy huge amounts of equipment, or you don't have the technical ability to run something really complicated, yet you want to take a step forward in your worship. Well, I want to show us one way to run drone pads in a simple and free way. In my last video, I talked about why drone pads can be so helpful for worship leading in small and growing churches. And today we're going to look at how to operate and run drone pads for free. At the end of this video, I'm going to share 4 ways to run pads seamlessly in worship. I'm also going to share my favorite software for running pads for free. So you want to stay to the end to watch that. I just want to clarify, this video is specifically about running drone pads for free. I think in the future, I might make one of these for running backing tracks for free and how that can be used in leading worship in small and growing churches. So subscribe to stay connected and when I release some new videos. So right, getting started, we're going to look at what equipment you're going to need to run drone pads in worship. In the UK, we had a program called Blue Peter, and in that they would show you how to make these really cool arts and crafts things. And at the beginning, they'd say, you're going to need X, Y, and Z, and you could go there and get those things and come back and they show you how to make it. So we're going to do the same thing here. So number 1, you're going to need a device to play the audio tracks back on. So that could be a phone, or an iPad, or a laptop. Next, you're going to need a speaker to play that audio track back that can be heard above the sound of singing in your space. I'd recommend any Bluetooth speaker that you have. The connections are easy. You're probably familiar with the technology. Now, I know some technical experts are going to be going crazy right now saying, hey, Paul, you can't use Bluetooth technology in worship because there's a lag, there's a time delay from when the signal's sent to when the speaker makes the noise. But I want to say everyone relax, because drone pads are not time dependent. So it's okay if there's a slight lag. That's not something we're concerned about. Of course, if you have access to a nice 48 channel digital mixer and a stadium quality sound system, that's brilliant. Go ahead, use it. But I'm saying that's not necessary for what we're trying to do here. Next, you're going to need access to that audio track, and that might be through an internet connection using websites such as YouTube or Spotify, or maybe it's downloading a software such as Core Sound Pads or some other app that can play back these devices. And lastly, you're going to need the audio file itself, and I can provide some links below in the description. So once you've got these components, you need to download the app or get internet access to that track. You need to connect your device to the speaker, and you need to hit play. And that gets you started with running drone pads in worship. So here are those 4 tips on how to run pads seamlessly in worship in a small and a growing church. Number 1, this is lessons that I've learned from mistakes. Lesson 1, make sure you don't get adverts in the middle of your drone pads. If you're streaming an audio file from YouTube or Spotify, either upgrade to a paid premium package or download it in another way where adverts aren't going to pop up in the middle of your worship time. Number 2, you want to pick songs in all the same keys. If you're leading 1, 2, 3 songs, it's best in my experience to run them all in the same key, so that you don't have to stop and change the drone pad in the background. Of course, a drone pad is in a specific key. And so if each song you're changing the key, you've got to stop playing, stop singing, go to your device, change over the file, have that stop and silence and start a new one. And the whole purpose of us running drone pads is that we do this seamless, comfortable transition between songs. Thirdly, make sure the audio track with the drone pad is long enough to play under the whole of your worship set. Make sure you've got enough time so you can go through all of your songs without the audio track finishing, or just be okay with the fact the drone pad will end halfway through. Fourthly and lastly, when using pads in worship, you'll want to finish the set by slowly fading out the drone pad behind you. A few times I've led worship and the sound guys just hit mute on the channel straight at the end of the set, and you go from this really nice atmosphere with this drone pad in the background to nothing. In closing, I want to share the software that I prefer to use for running drone pads and backing tracks. And the great news is it's free to start using. It's primed by Loop Community. Now, you might have a different software that you prefer, and you can add those in the bottom of the comments and we can see what suits what better. But I want to say, if you click the link next, I'm going to show you the various ways that I use Prime by Loop Community to level up my worship in small and growing churches, and how you can too.